So we saw the difference between an enlightened one and a verbal intellectualist, all come in Brant, become clearly visible in the previous verse. Right? Describing two analogies regarding how the world appears to an enlightened one, Param Kripadev says.
सकल जगत तेठवत अथवा स्वप्न समान ते कहिए ज्ञानी दशा बाकी वाचा ज्ञान
सकल जगत ते एठवत अथवा स्वप्न समान ते कहिए ज्ञानी दशा अगेन बाकी वाचक ज्ञान सो इजी सकल जगत ते ऐठवत अथवा स्वभ्रांत ते कहिए ज्ञानी दशा बाकी कहिए भ्रांत इन द प्रीवियस बाकी वाचा ज्ञान इन दिस. So don't mix up, huh? Because Prashant has to go with Brant, rhyming. And here it is Saman, so Vachagnan, so easy. All this in 1.5 and 2 hours. The meaning, the rhyming, such easy words. So, because થોડું મિક્સઅપ થાય એવું લાગે તે કહીએ જ્ઞાની દશા તો ત્યાં વાચક જ્ઞાન હતું કે અહીંયા વાચક જ્ઞાન. સો પ્રશાંત હોય તો ભ્રાંત જ હોય અને સમાન હોય તો વાચક જ્ઞાન હોય. સિમ્પલ. હા. When the whole world appears like leftover food or like a dream, that is considered the enlightened state. Otherwise, it is mere verbal knowledge. So maybe this is the this is the last verse which actually needs vivechan. 140th. And then the 41 is concluding the result of the scripture, result of the study of the scripture, or what should you do after studying the scripture? That last Bhalaman, Shikhaman advice. And then as he started with Mangalacharan, समझाव्यू ते पद नमो श्री सदगुरु भगवान. Again his Sadguru comes and te gnani na charanama ho vandanagni. So the philosophical part, this is the last. The knowledge part in the sense of imparting the spiritual knowledge, this is the last verse. I got so many suggestions not to end the Shastra. So he's saying do till 141, don't do 142. So આપણે એમ જ લાગે કે હજી આપણું બાકી છે બાકી છે બાકી છે. So I've got a lot of suggestions, but still I'm not convinced. I said no. So many will be leaving us. So why not complete this? You know, it has to go ringing in your heart like that also. If we finish or if we don't finish. So પછી જે મને કાલે ભગવાન સુજાડશે તે. But nobody wants to attach the word finish with Atma Siddhi. So everywhere we like when things get over, finish. कोई भी project भी लीधो होय तो we want it to finish. So this is the first experience where we are thoroughly enjoying it, but we don't want it to finish. તમારું તો જે થવાનો હોય, imagine me now, I just don't want to speak about anything. Atma Siddhi Sivai, what is there to speak? The beautiful two verses na those away the roads. So this is like our pre-Samvatsari day, and what a difficult topic it was supposed to be, but the group energy is such, we are thoroughly enjoying it. Because in these days, to enjoy religion or to enjoy spirituality is wonder of wonders. To practice spirituality is also quite rare, but fine. but to enjoy a meditation, to enjoy a bhakti, to enjoy a satsang, to enjoy studying a scripture, which is very different. So I've heard you, I've seen you clapping more even than our Sunday Udghoshis. I thought they were so nice. They were so easy and so interesting and so applicable, and you can relate, and everything was so good. But I've seen you clapping more in such difficult subjects. So this is the Daivat of Sri Atma Siddheswara. So here, the state of the enlightened ones, they have attained something which is most worthwhile in this world. Most. And Anand Ganji and Kabir ji have said, Makhan, makhan le liya. Jagat mein se makhan le liya, chhas bator diya. Rehne diya, basically. So, makhan tha wo le liya. They churned what is worthwhile. They churned. And what is worthwhile? Your pure soul. So that they attained something which is most worthwhile. And when you attain the most worthwhile, the rest seems, use the same word, worthless. See, worthwhile mali jaye, પછી એનાથી એક લેવલ નીચું બી હોય તો you find it worthless. True? This philosophy is going with psychology, it seems. Okay, when you get the best, now everything is lesser. પણ અહીંયા તો લેસરની શું એક્સટેન્ટ બતાવે છે એ જુઓ. How the world appears to not secondary to the soul. Soul is the best. Second, what is second best? iPad, iPod, what else? So, iPhone, iPhone. And your dad always saying, I paid. It's not wrong English, it's proper English. Well, okay, iPad, iPhone, iPod. And your father says, I paid. But this is not how the enlightened world perceives the world. Enlightened one perceives the world. So, remains completely detached from the world because the world seems worthless, transient. Giving two beautiful analogies for how the world appears to an enlightened one. To તમારી ભાષામાં examples. બે examples. Analogy છે. How worthless, how the transitory the world appears to an enlightened one are beautifully explained here as, or you can say, as unattractive as leftover food, number one, or as fleeting as a dream. I have to explain only three things here. Sakal jagat etvat, atva sapna saman, and baki vacha gnan. Three things I have to explain, and I have enough time. Sakal jagat etvat, as unattractive as leftover food, as fleeting as a dream, and vachagnan I'll be explaining. Because those are considered, perceived as enlightened, but they are not. If the world does not appear like this to them. Very simple. Again, a verification. So the first, Sakal Jagat. Sakal meaning whole. You cannot even say, A be sivaye. These five things are too attractive. Say, rakle, what, pasta. Huh? So આ 4-5 સિવાય even I feel khichdi, bhakri, all etvat only. No, this is Sakal Jagat because it's against the soul. So you can't say ke soul, comma, pizza, comma, these are attractive things and khichdi, comma, no, not that way, Sakal Jagat. અહીંયા આવે છે experience of the soul in the word Sakal. Because experience the best or the only worthwhile, everything else comes in another category, worthless. As, and we need to know as what. So, as leftover food. Just imagine, try to visualize. Someone's eating, say eaten half of the food. આપણે તો આવી ટેવ નથી એઠું રાખવાનું because we have sentinels here saying એઠું નહીં રાખવાનું, એઠું નથી રાખવાનું. But usually in the world they just have as much as they want and the rest is leftover food. Will another person find it worth consuming if it is his favorite food, expensive food, but leftover food? How much ever it's your favorite food, how much ever it is expensive, how much ever you are hungry at that time, once you label it as leftover, you feel it is trash, which should go into garbage. Expensive. Ekdam 5-star no food છે. And you are hungry also at that time. Forget wanting it or desiring it, you might feel nauseous. You would feel like throwing. કેટલાકને કહીએ ને કે આ થોડું એઠું છે, કોનું એઠું છે એ બી ખબર નથી. હવે આટલું સારું છે પણ બહુ સારી ક્વોલિટીનું, હાઈ ક્વોલિટી ફૂડ, કેટલું સલાઈવા લાગ્યું હોય ને બધું you don't know. See. It's your favorite food, you are so hungry, it is the expensive, 5-star food પર પ્લેનમાં આપે એવી સરસ ક્વોલિટીનું ફૂડ છે. But half eaten food left over, you would not want to enjoy it, you would not want to touch it, you would not want to see it also. અને એમાં બી પેલો શેઠ જેવી રીતે ખાય, he eats in a pure Kathiawadi manner with all the bhats, means all the bhat, any under shak, any under kachumbar, any under peli dal, and then mixing up everything, pure Kathiawadi style. અમે તો એક ચમચી ભાત આમ ખાય ને પછી એક ચમચી દાળ આવી રીતે ખાય, અંદર સેમ હોય પણ ડોન્ટ મેક મેસ આઉટ. અને પછી હાફ ખાઈને કે હવે નથી ખવાતું, શ્રેયા ખાઈ લેશે એમ ખુશી enjoying, and he actually gives. Because હું એને એઠું તો છોડવા દઉં નહીં અને એને ભાન જ ન રહે કેટલું લેવાનું. ચલો હવે 7 ફેરાના કારણે એક ખાય તો જુદી વાત છે, because સુખમાં ને દુઃખમાં સાથ આપીશ એમ કીધું છે. She must have taken that vow, so let her be. But દુઃખી થઈને ખાશે, સુખી થઈને નહીં, કે સુખી થવા તો નહીં જ. One would not want to enjoy it. When I am coming, enjoy, to forget it, not even touch it, forget it, I don't want to see it also. Half-eaten food, left-over food. It is only worth discarding. એટું છે તો એટું ફેંકી દો. I am not going to. I'll stay hungry. અને કેટલાકને તો પેલું અમે તો બોટેલી કહીએ પણ they make fun of me. એઠું કહો તમે. So we were always, the Surti word was બોટેલું. તો શરૂમાં બોટેલું છે નહીં, બોટેલું છે નહીં, તો આ કે what is બોટેલું? I've never heard this word before. So even I have not heard, I have not seen such way of eating also, but I do tolerate. મસોતું કહીએ તો એ હસવા લાગે, you know. મસોતું you have not heard? શું કહેવાય? પોતું. So we call it મસોતું. So they start laughing. હતા ના એકદમ સિન્સિયર થઈને એઝ અ સ્ટુડન્ટ they study, but બાકીમાંથી બોટેલું કે કાંઈક બોલાઈ જાય, and like people like મહેશભાઈ, તો he will die. but તમારી ખાલી thumbs up બી થોડી પીને એને આપો, he will die, but he will not touch it. Even means he's so thirsty, you know, we have traveled with him, so આપણે એક બિસ્લરી નહીં, શું કહેવાય એને, મિનરલ વોટરની એક બોટલ લઈએ, પછી બધા એમાંથી શેર કરો. ઉપરથી પીધું હોય પછી તો પ્રોબ્લેમ નથી ને, he won't. તમારું એર સ્પેસ બી. So I just want to say how unattractive it is, how you feel like discarding it and at least not enjoying it. The whole world appears athwart to a gnani, to an enlightened one, simply unattractive and worthless. Simple. Worth discarding, not worth consuming. If you see from a perspective of science, this is a wonderful analogy, but let's take it from the perspective of science. So what does science say? Matter can never be created or, but we do see creation, we do see destruction. So what is it actually? Oh, so everything is just combination of atoms or dissolution of atoms, right? Either somebody has adopted some atoms or somebody has released it, discarded it, correct? So everything in the world is used by someone, discarded meaning left over, left. ખાઈને છોડી દીધું તો એઠું. So everything in the world is એઠું, is a leftover. Adopted and discarded by someone. How would an enlightened one feel a sense of gratification or pride in it? If you know what you are eating is એઠા, તમે અડધી પાવભાજી છોડી હોય તો ફેંકી દે? what? તમે અડધી ખાધી હોય તો એ અડધી ફેંકી દે કે પેલું મોટો તવો હોય એમની અંદર નાખી દે, ગરમ કરીને ચાલી જાય. ગરમ કરવાની બી જરૂર નથી. નાઇસલી યુ ડિસ્પ્લે ઇટ ઇન અનધર ડિશ એન્ડ યુ વિલ ઇટ ઇટ. ગરમ શું કામ કરવાનું? See how do you feel? And when Gnani, out of Punya Uday, he gets all the comforts and luxury, that also he feels like athwat. Whatever he comes in contact with is atoms discarded by someone. હવે એમ બહુ કરો તો તમે સ્વિમિંગ પુલમાં તો કોઈ આ બી કરે ને આ બી કરે, સામેવાળો ઊંધું કરતો આવતો હોય, we can see the water going in and coming out. If he does like this in some, you know, cold drink, everything, will not even touch it. અને નીચે આમ કર્યું આપણે શું ખબર પડવાની છે? હા, સ્વિમિંગની તો પહેલી બાધા લો જો તમને આવું બધું ગંદરું લાગતું હોય તો. બ્રશ કર્યા વિના સીધો પૂલમાં પડ્યો હોય. મને યાદ કરજો સ્વિમિંગ પુલમાં. Even the most precious thing, your body, clothes, ornaments, building, everything is discarded by someone. Someone might have adopted those atoms, pachi destroy થયું હશે, so it is discarded, and now it's with a combination of another set of atoms, and you feel it's fresh. Your word, fresh. Nothing is fresh, everything is left over. Any worldly object you see. Or let me make it, this is from the perspective of science, let me make it easy. So I asked Menas one day, where is she? If you get a sasta second hand stuff, second hand cars તો ઘણા નહીં લેતા જો કે ખાલી 10,000 કિલોમીટર જ ચાલી છે એમ કે પાછા. Menas, would you prefer anything second hand? મોટું પર્સ હોય કે આ હોય કે એવું કંઈ બી પણ second hand. But whatever you are using now is all second hand only. Eh? Everything. Everything is a combination of atoms which were discarded by someone. થોડું polish કરી નાખ્યું. And now you feel it's fresh, it's new. But to a Gnani, to an enlightened one, everything is second hand. So if you are using something second hand, you should feel a sense of pride or sense of embarrassment. સંભળાતું નથી મેનસ શું બોલી? Yes. So Gnani feels, what am I doing? वो केवा मारा कर्म छे के आ बधा वलगना छे. Embarrassment, not a sense of gratification or sense of pride. Just take it this way, कि everything is second hand. So at least अहंकार करवा जेवुं तो काई छे ज नहीं तारामां. And then the question of gratification, तो हवे तो no more. हवे तो પહેલી વખત પૂલમાં જશો ને ખાલી હું યાદ આવીશ, ઓનલી મી. અને એમાં તમે આમ કરતા હોય અને કોઈનું વાલ આવ્યો તો તમારા હો શું, તો ફિમેલ્સ પણ જાય કે નહીં પૂલમાં? ટોપા ટોપી પહેરીને જાય તો બી શું? એ લોકોનું તો કેવું ગિવિંગ એટીટ્યુડ છે. વેરેવર દે ગો દે લીવ સમથિંગ. અને કરતો હોય અને આમ સીધો એક લાંબો વાલ આવે, 1 કિલોમીટર લાંબો. How attractive should it seem? So an enlightened one sees the whole world in this way. So how can he be? Basically, he'll always remain unattached. Bhogu, yes, because of his past karma. But attachment, no, sabandh is with delusion, not association. Attachment is related to delusion, not association. You can be associated with it and remain unattached or detached because you are not suffering from delusion. Simple as that. So Gnani says, no, I'm not going to consume anything second hand. First hand hoy ne ek ko mane. Now let's make a list of first hand stuff in the world. Except your soul, nothing. Your soul has not been used by anyone, not even by you up till now. Not even by ekdam fresh. So the only genuine, original, worthwhile, unused substance is your own soul. He lives a dignified life. એની ડિગ્નિટી રાખે કે આપણે સેકન્ડ હેન્ડ નહીં, એટલે મહેનત જેવા નહીં કે આમ ના પાડે કે સેકન્ડ હેન્ડ નહીં જોવું, પણ આખું વર્લ્ડ જ સેકન્ડ હેન્ડ છે. એવરીથિંગ, ઇફ યુ ગો ડીપલી that inside, the first hand is your soul, and so Gnani remains, revels in his own bliss. So Sakal Jagat Tattvat is very, very clear. Sakal is very important. Oh, you can't even subtract 5 things or even 1 thing. That means you have an aversion for the rest You have not experienced the soul. If you have experienced the soul, everything goes into the opposite category. So fine. Now second, Athva, if you didn't understand this, I am giving you one more example. Bhagavan says, in the end of the, towards the completion of the text, he wants to give examples. So even I have learned from him, છેલ્લે 5-10 ठोકી દો. એકદમ 2 મિનિટ બાકી હોય એમાં. જ્યાં તમે બુક્સ બી બંધ કરી દીધી હોય કે હવે he is ending. એમાં બીજા 5 ठोકી દો. મેં તો ભગવાન 140th વર્ડ્સમાં 2 એક્ઝામ્પલ આપે છે. So I've learnt everything. Oh my God. So Athva Swapna Saman, like a dream, as transitory as a dream. I'm not saying as unreal as a dream. I'm saying as, because real, unreal, then there is a philosophical difference. Because Jad and Chetan are both substances. They both are not, any of them are not unreal. Both are real substances according to the Jain philosophy. So I'm not using the word real, unreal. कोई बार भी mistake था. Let me use the word transitoriness of a dream. You might not be possessing even a two-wheeler. Two-wheeler, એટલે scooter. But in a dream, you can drive a flashy red sports car. Kirtan asks me, really, why are you going in the buggy? This is the way he asked me. So मैं तो केवी ते जाऊँ. So where is the red car? Why? What's so great in the red car? Oh, it's the best car. You might not even possess in reality. You don't have that okad of even a two-wheeler, but dream. So it's as transitory because number one, it vanishes when one awakes. So it is so transitory. And second, it does not have any capacity to satisfy you. If it has, so all 8 days you don't eat, just eat in the dreams. It doesn't have the capacity to satisfy you. And it does not last for long. હજી તો ગરાજમાં પાર્ક કરો એની પહેલા તો that flashy car has gone because it was just a dream. So you getting fascinated by objects, occurrences, they are like getting fascinated by a dream. It's not going to last long. It does not have capacity to satisfy you. In the same way, the worldly objects don't last and they don't have capacity to give you true happiness or satisfaction. Maximum you can get saturated, but not satisfied. Satisfied means you want nothing more. Saturated means you want something else. Now I'm tired with the same street here, so I'm, oh, no one's tired? Fine. Bija 5 horas raho, no problem. But what will we do here without Atma Siddhi? Atma Siddhi was like salt in an exotic dish. So this is an exotic dish, but the salt was Atma Siddhi Shastra. Okay. So, as the enlightened one perceives the world as a dream, he does not get affected by any events, occurrences in life, because everything for him is a dream. It will pass by, it will get over. He remains undisturbed in a pure state, and that too effortlessly. Equanimous in the dualities of life, he can remain equanimous effortlessly. So, how does the enlightened one consider the world? Leftover food. So, seeing leftover food, you are not going to dribble or drool. Correct? Drool and dribble, you understand? Dribble means secretion of saliva, and drool means lal tapakvi. લાલ ટપકવી. તો હવે લેફ્ટ ઓવર ફૂડ જોઈને તમને લાલ ટપકશે? ટપકશે ઇન ધ સેન્સ આમ ઢોળાશે. Will you find it attractive? So enlightenment see the world as leftover food? No, not attractive at all, and fleeting as a dream. Meaning, disinterest in the world. No interest in the world is the sign of an enlightened one. Say you have interest in the world or you have not lost interest in the world, you are a vacha gnani. You may be speaking about the soul, so vacha, but you have not cultivated disinterest in the world, so you are not a samyak gnani, atma gnani. Baki vacha gnan, if you have not lost interest in the world, if the world yet feels attractive. ચલો ધારાવી નહીં પણ મોલ્ડીવ્સ તો ખરું ને. ધારાવી you don't find attractive. The slum. But Maldives you feel attractive. So you have not lost interest in the world. Then you are a fake, pseudo enlightened one. So this was a trendy word during what? When I was doing my masters. So every second day we had to write pseudo. So pseudo has gone in me now. Pseudo, fake. Lage કે જ્ઞાની છે પણ છે નહીં. તો શું છે? વાચા જ્ઞાની છે. બોલવામાં બહુ એક્સપર્ટ છે. બસ એક્સપર્ટ. Good oratory skills, good knowledge. So he blabbers. See, same thing, I am the soul, and enlightenment says, we say Divya Vani. And when a Vachagnani says, we say he's blabbering because his delusion is intact. He yet aspires for worldly objects and situations and occurrences and happenings. So, he is pseudo, all his talk is meaningless because detachment for the world is absent. Everything is meaningless. See, he speaks lofty words, big words, great words, high words, lofty words. But all his words are hollow words. Verbal exercise. जीवनी कसरत, verbal exercise, lip service only, because not harbored detachment within. So he may be a very good scholar, he may be an expert orator, but if he finds the world wonderful, interesting, attractive, if he desires objects of the world, if he gets excited seeing it, if he gets thrilled on obtaining it, and still he is speaking lofty words, then call him Vacha Gnani. You want to call him Gnani because of his knowledge, but Vacha Gnani, not Atma Gnani. So beautiful is the word Vacha Gnan, because so much Gnan is oozing out of him, which 50-60% you don't even understand. So high. But because of delusion within, because of that excitement, getting thrilled, getting desires for it, he is just a Vacha Gnani. He is not a real Gnani. So he is a pseudo Gnani, or not an enlightened one, meaning ignorant one. So ignorant one is listening to an ignorant one. And still they have a relationship of Guru Shishya. Why? They have one category only, no? Ignorance. Both are suffering from ignorance. One is using lofty words, bas. So why just get carried away by lofty words? What? Because you should have an aim of detachment. Then you will perceive or want to perceive detachment in your Sadguru. But for that, you should have that lakshana of Matra Moksha Bilas or Bhave Khed. You must be feeling everything useless, worthless, still like a fool. I am yet desiring it, but it is really not worthwhile. It is that understanding you must be having. Then you would want to perceive that non-attached state or the detached state, and that too effortlessly. Meaning it's coming from his experience. So just having that art of conversation or communication makes you a Vacha Gnani. Theoretical knowledge you might have lots, but experiential knowledge, zero. It is like a sword without sharpness, not helpful to vanquish your inner enemies, your rag dvesh. So this is what is depicted in this verse so beautifully through two analogies, so beautifully explained the state of an enlightened one, which differentiates him from a Vacha Gnani. Let's see.
सकड़ जगत ते ऐठवत अथवा स्वप्न समान, ते कहिए ज्ञानी दशा बाकी वाचा ज्ञान।